needed this one, traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight, with a pack in hand and a story that bites. Old paper, new spark, name on the card, from basement deals to a full-on start. Collected and connected, collected and connected, trading the truth.
Hey, what's up? Jonathan Fink, Sports Card Collectors Club, and this is the Card Life Chronicles, and it's episode 18, and we got a hobby update. So not a live pack opening where we're going to rip cards like crazy, but even in a hobby update, don't worry, we're always going to rip some cards. But today we got some big news. The Pokemon Gods Are Real, the book that I wrote, is now on pre-sale. It's going to go on sale on September 16th, which is the official launch of the Pokemon 30th anniversary, and I cannot be more excited. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about some of the manufacturing issues that I had with the Pokemon Gods and how they intervened. I caught a restock today. I want to talk about that. And then I also wanted to talk about a new book that I'm working on about the economics of Pokemon. And then we'll definitely rip some cards to say thank you to the Pokemon Gods, because this book's going to be really good, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about it. So I think we have 5 people in the chat so far, so thank you guys for joining right away. We'll give a few minutes for people to come in and join before we get started, and I will get on my phone and I will put out the back call. So thanks for joining me. We'll get started in a few minutes, guys. Hold tight. That's my stand when I rip the cards. Yeah, perfect. All right, good enough. Thanks for joining me tonight. Really excited to get started. So, for those who are not familiar with me, my name is Jonathan Fink, and you might know me from the Sports Card Collectors Club. And this podcast and this whole platform got started because I wrote a book called the Sports Card Collectors Club, and that really kind of put me on the map as far as being an author and being a social media kind of personality. I actually had published 15 books so far, but it's my 16th book that I'm excited to talk about today, which is The Pokemon Gods Are Real. Now, my very first book in 2018, it got published, was The Baseball Gods Are Real. And that is not similar to the books that I've been putting out lately with regards to the God is Real concept. My first book was actually kind of a nonfiction true life story. It talked about my life growing up, some of my trials and tribulations, how I got involved into spirituality, my relationship with my son, my relationship with my future apprentice, John Parent, who's now my former apprentice, and then that was also the case with Baseball Gods Volume 2. It's just a continuation of that story. But along the way, that's when I kind of really became enamored with the baseball gods. Once the term came up in conversation with John Parent and my son and some people at a baseball club one day, I started noticing the baseball gods everywhere I went. And of course, the baseball gods are just a nickname for when there's these serendipitous moments, these coincidences, these little mini miracles that happen that you just like, wow, that's just what an amazing event that I just witnessed. And so I started documenting them, and then I had enough material that I wrote a book called Volume 3. It was called The Baseball Gods Are Real, Volume 3, The Religion of Baseball. And in that book, I pay homage to the religion of baseball, the saints and the sinners, the rituals and the traditions, the cathedrals, and I basically kind of draw a comparison between organized religion and baseball. And it's a really fun book with some really great stories. And that was really probably where I had probably the most initial success as far as an author. I started getting lots of interviews and stuff like that, and getting on podcasts and live on the radio. Was when Volume 3 came out. I did have some notoriety when my first book came out, and it kind of lulled in Volume 2, and then it went big. The Hive, Baseball Gods Are Real. I need to tell you my time with Turk Wendell next time we stream. I'd love to hear that story, dude. The baseball gods are definitely real, and I'm not the only one who had these stories. We all have them. I didn't come up with the term baseball gods. I had been familiar with it my whole life, and I was just the first person who wanted to kind of bring it to the forefront and make it kind of a tangible thing. So anyway, so Volume 3 of that book series was very different than Volumes 1 and 2. But then once I wrote that book, I kind of had a formula, and I realized, wow, I was actually, believe it or not, I was actually with my family, walking through the outskirts of a small town in Poland. My wife's family are Holocaust survivors, and my father-in-law actually found the farm and the barn and the hole in the ground where my grandmother-in-law and father-in-law lived for I think 18 months while they survived and escaped from the Holocaust, even though a lot of their other family members were murdered. It's a horrible story, but it's amazing that we found that place. And I was telling my wife's cousin Max, who has since passed away, about the book series. He's like, you should become the next Chicken Soup for the soul. You should write, basketball gods, hockey gods, golf gods, you name it. And actually, when I eventually did write The Golf Gods Are Real, I did dedicate it to Max, as was appropriate. So the idea was that once I created the formula with Baseball Gods Volume 3, I realized I could do this for all the sports. And so I did it with hockey, I did it with basketball, I did it with golf. And during the pandemic, I actually had written first round draft. I wrote manuscript drafts for the Soccer Gods Are Real and the Basketball Gods Are Real. And then I moved on to other projects. And even though I'm now working on the Basketball Gods Are Real, and in fact, I've already taken that old manuscript and I've already gotten it updated with all the most recent stories, like the Danhausen curse. That's now totally in the book. And as I read it, I'm finding very few errors. It might be ready very soon, sooner than I would have thought. I'll still put it out next summer, but I might be done having to work on it sooner than later. We'll see. But it was 2 years ago that I started to notice. It was when the pandemic ended. That's when I got back into sports cards and started going to shows on a regular basis. And at the time, Pokemon was probably 5% of the trade show community. And over the last 5 or 6 years, I've watched it go from 5% to 25 to 50. I was at a show recently, a tiny show, but it was still a show. It was like 90% Pokemon. And so I just became enamored with the energy and the culture and the economics, the vibrant economy that it has. And I started getting familiar with the hobby, and I started seeing all the similarities. I was thinking about writing a book called The Sports Card Gods Are Real, and I did write a draft for that. And I eventually rolled all that material kind of into this book. And I'm not going to, I referenced the sports card gods enough in my regular sports card series. It didn't need its own book. But Pokemon, there are a lot of, or a decent amount of Pokemon investment books out there. But there's nothing about the Pokemon religion, Pokemon faith, the magic of opening a pack, that feeling, that mystery, last pack magic, last box on the shelf magic, all those different nuances I wanted to write about. And so I spent 6 months, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was like a year researching it. I think I wrote it in 6 months, and then I think I edited it for 6 months. And I was thinking about putting it out actually, next summer. I'm definitely slowing down my book releases to kind of enjoy my life more. I've been obsessive compulsive, working late at night every single day and night for 10 years straight, pumping out, now 16 books. And it's enough. I got to slow it down. I'm going to start putting out a book every 6 months, starting after this one. Oh, actually, well, that's not fair. I have Pokemon coming out on September 16th, and then I have Sports Cards Volume 2 coming out on December 1st. So after that, we'll start going every 6 months. So in July, we'll put out basketball, and then I'm not sure what we'll put out next after that. We'll have to wait and see. I have a lot of things I could release. It might be something else. Well, related to Pokemon potentially, because I have a new book idea about that. But anyway, so yeah, so the Pokemon Gods Are Real. Once I realized the 30th anniversary is coming up right now, and it's actually launching the first product release officially on September 16th. I'm like, you know what? It might not be the best time to release the book because all the people in the hobby will spend all their money on all the new packs and all that stuff. And so I thought about delaying it for 6 months, and then I'd have more material to write about. I could add the new 30th anniversary stuff, but it's like when do I just finish a book and put it in the can and release it? And so I realized it should be pre 30th anniversary. That will give me a chance to write a sequel possibly from the 30th anniversary after. Yeah, I spent 6 months grinding on the edit, and loved the book cover design, and then was ready to contact my book layout designer and get that manuscript turned into table of contents and page numbers and all that stuff to make the book printable. And so I did that, and then a couple of days ago I had this situation happen, which I thought was literally like an intervention from the Pokemon gods. And here's the thing: in a way, when I use the term Pokemon gods or golf gods or any god, it's sort of like because I have belief and I have faith and I'm an optimist, and I always find that when things go wrong in life, you can be negative and say, "Oh, the world's against me, I'm doomed, and I have bad luck, and woe is me." Or you can look at things as, hey, maybe that was a sign. Maybe that was a sign to do something different or to pivot. And whether it is or not doesn't really matter, because if you think it's a sign, then that's enough for you to use your intuition and to play off of that. So here's what happened to me. When I first got into publishing more than a decade ago, I decided I didn't want to have a literary agent. I didn't want to work with a major publishing company. I wanted to have complete control, complete autonomy on every aspect of the process. And I have a business degree. I love the entrepreneurial world. I'd already had started my own investment firm, so it was pretty much easier to start a publishing company than an investment firm. I can tell you that, especially with regulation and everything. But anyway, I decided I'll create my own publishing company and do it all myself. And I don't really do it all myself. Of course, I've used editors, I've used book designers, I've used book layout designers. So I've had a lot of help along the way. But it's fun being the kind of the captain of the ship, the head of the chief creative officer of the whole project, and you can get your hands involved in everything. And I have done so, and it's been awesome. So one of the big decisions I had to make was who's going to be the company who's going to print for me. And there are several options, but there's two main players. One is a company called Ingram Spark, and the other is actually a company that's become a household name. You might have heard of it, called Amazon. Yep. Everyone forgets that Amazon now is a colossal corporation, but they got started in books, and they were one of the pioneers in the ebook space. And even right now, I think Borders Books is out of business. Barnes and Noble hanging by a thread, and I think that Amazon's book sales are about 65% of the market. It might even be higher now for ebooks. So, so certainly you can go with, it would make sense to go with Amazon. However, Ingram Spark, so much said, has better quality. And there's interesting, pros and cons, because with Amazon, you can choose an option where you'll get a 70% royalty, which is double what I get paid with Ingram Spark. But Amazon gets full exclusivity. So if you put a book on Amazon and you make that deal, that book can only be on Amazon. It can't be on Apple. It can't be at Barnes & Noble. It can't be at Target or Walmart. But you get paid really handsomely. And, of course, Amazon is the biggest seller of books, so it's a pretty good calculated risk. And I think a lot of authors, that's their first instinct, is to go with Amazon. When I did the research, I realized that Ingram Spark had a lot of other options. You can do, at the time, you could also do paper and hardcover. And it had international distribution everywhere in the world, from Japan to Singapore, you name it. And it got me into all the stores, not just Amazon, of course, Amazon as well, but Barnes & Noble and Booktopia and Target and Walmart and so many other, retail outlets around the world. And so I liked that it was kind of maybe better quality at the time, perhaps, but also, maybe wider distribution. I thought that was in my best interest. But I'm not sure if it has been up until this point, to be honest, especially because Amazon does have such a stranglehold on the industry, and they have all these unique promotions. Like they have their KDP program, where a lot of Amazon customers, they pay an annual or monthly fee, and they can read as many books as they want, and so they can click on your book for free. So if you're a young author trying to get started and you want people to read your book and write reviews and give 5 stars and all that, you can really get a lot of people to read your book when you're giving it away for free through the Amazon program, and you can sell potentially millions of copies and eventually, get paid a lot. So I thought about that, but I eventually went with Ingram Spark. And of course, 15 books in, book sales have done well recently since I've gotten active with the podcast and all that stuff. But up until now, it's been kind of quiet. Hey, real quick, Brandon Reed, what's up, dude? Jeremiah Fear is going to play good minutes this year. Do I keep him in my keeper league? That's a great question. I would say yes. I mean, I think he was considered one of the top 10 rookies last year. He's going to be a year better, and I think his team mix is a lot different, and he might be getting the ball a lot more. So I'm definitely not an expert on Jeremiah Fears, but I do love fantasy sports, and if it's a keeper league, yeah, that's probably a good move is to keep that guy for sure. Anyway, back to Amazon versus Ingram. So anyway, I finally got the documents back from my book layout designer, and I was getting ready to, Kevin Porter Jr., I would say a thumbs down on him. Much more bullish on Jeremiah Fears. But thank you for the chat question, dude. I appreciate that. Doing this stuff live and doing it in the chat is everything to me because it's about community, this hobby. And I didn't name the book the Sports Card Investors Club. It's the Sports Card Collectors Club, and it's supposed to be a club. And then that means finding a way to be together. So I just recorded this because I didn't want to make mistakes, and then I just pre-canned it and released it. That would probably be very polished, but I'd rather be live. It's much more authentic, and I love the chat. I love being able to interact with people, even if it's not on the topic of Pokemon. It's giving fantasy basketball advice. I love to do it, man. So Brandon, you're awesome. God bless you, dude. Keep the questions coming. Anyway, so I log into to Ingram Spark. I do all the stuff to set up the paperback and the hardcover. But then when I click to add the file, the website, the software will not let me add the file. I mean, never had this problem before. Reset, log in, log out, can't do it. And I eventually was like, this is crazy. It's like the Pokemon gods don't want me to release this book, or so I thought at first. Then I forgot about it, went back later, and then this time the website is just crashed, completely down. And I was like, all right, this is definitely a sign for the Pokemon gods, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. And I realized, oh shit, this is the Pokemon gods saying, dude, this is going to be your best book yet, your most successful book yet. It's got to go big. It's got to go on Amazon KDP. For as much as I love sports cards, and all my books about spirituality, they're kind of real niche markets. Pokemon is not a niche. It is a massive worldwide phenomenon, especially with 30th anniversary. So it's sort of like the timing was right, get this book out now, and it's got to reach as many people as possible. So it took me, many hours to get all things set up with, tax documents and LLCs and banking and all that stuff, but the website was down all afternoon, so I did set up with Amazon, and I did set up for the ebook, paper, and hardcover. However, the paperback and hardback versions, the versions I had made with my designer for Ingram Spark, it's a different format, so those didn't work. But the ebook did work, and by the way, with Ingram, you got to pay extra to do an ebook. And it actually takes several weeks, and it's hard to even edit it once you've made the ebook. And so I always do that second. And so I wasn't sure if I'd have the ebook ready by September 16th, which would have been a tragedy and unfortunate, right? And with Amazon, because this is what they do. Wow, it's crazy. I had to wait. I'm still waiting. I finally got the files later that day, but I basically set up the ebook, and in 2 seconds it was set up. And by last night it was live. I didn't tell anyone yet. But by today, I announced that it's live for pre-sale, and I ordered my first copy, and a few other people might have done so as well. So there might even be some rankings by tomorrow, which will be sick to see if we're in the new release category, which will be fun. But anyway, the point is, it was a blessing. And then when I went on to this morning, I saw that my book is there. It's not connected with all my other books. And then I went to Ingram this morning, and the website was back on. And so I realized, you know what, this is the perfect combination. I'll keep the ebook on Amazon with its big distribution, where it can be bought for free in the KDP program, and it can be bought 1 million times all around the world. But I will then upload the paperback and hardback through Ingram Spark. I'd already paid for the ISBN numbers and stuff like that, and it was already set up anyway. This way, those books will be linked for sure with all my other books. So when people want to find my stuff, they'll find my Pokemon book, at least they'll pay it back with all my others. And then I may even create the ebook and maybe compare and contrast and see which one has better sales. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. But basically, the point is, I felt like it was a blessing in disguise, and I did now set up with Amazon, and it looks great. The cover looks great. Congrats on the Pokemon book from Paulie. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can go on Amazon right now. Just type in Pokemon Gods Are Real. You'll find the book. You can click buy. $9.99 if you're a regular customer. If you're in the KDP program, it might even be free. I think. And what's cool is once the book goes live, what I can't do with Ingram, but you can do with Amazon, is you can do all these promotions. You can do Edgar Tolle. That's the last book I read, dude. He is Garrison Lyons. You're back again. You are a legit OG, man. You're one of my best members of this club. I appreciate you. Yeah, Edgar Tolle is like some deep spiritual self-help stuff, and I don't love his accents. I have a hard time listening to that guy. He's got a big, thick German accent. I think he's Austrian or German, but his wisdom and knowledge is great, and I have read his stuff. I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of all that kind of like new age self-help guru stuff, positive thinking, manifesting, karma. I think it's all very, very real. So yeah, so that's awesome. You'll definitely get a lot of, new age spirituality in my books, especially in my nonfiction stuff. But even in my fiction stuff, I always find a way to weave it in there because it's important to me. I feel like as an author, I want to help do my part, making the world a better place and teaching concepts, like karma and dharma. I think are important. Help us all have a reason to make our lives more fulfilling every step of the way. So anyway, so I'm still waiting for the proofs from the paperback and hardcover from Ingram Spark, make sure they're good. But in the meantime, the ebook is through Amazon with boom, boom, boom. It's already up. It looks good. I've already bought the copy. I don't know if the actual inside, will look as good on Amazon versus what I've used in the past. But we'll see. It's an experiment. It's one book, and we'll give it a shot. It's important to be willing to try new things and to trust your intuition. And when the website went down, I'm like, yeah, that might be a sign from the Pokemon gods. I need to pivot. And I think the Pokemon gods actually rewarded me for the pivot because it's in my best interest if I get that ebook on Amazon's on their stuff. And so check this out. So I'm very, very spiritual, and I always actually buy like a pack or two the day I have a show. It kind of pleases the sports card gods, so have a good show. It's kind of like a ritual thing to do. It's just an excuse to buy packs, whatever. It's what I love. But today, of course, my ebook went live for the Pokemon Gods Real. I'm like, I got to do a live rip or something to kind of, announce it, celebrate, and thank the Pokemon gods, and also ask them for grace, make sure this thing gets uploaded correctly and it gets downloaded correctly and gets released on time with no gremlins, no problems, no technology issues. So I went to Olathe, Kansas, the unopened Pac-Man store, and the reason why is because they have a lot of individual packs, and they also have the international packs. And if you saw the Pokemon Collective podcast last night, episode 1. Huge success. Go check it out on the Collecting and Connecting Podcast Network. What a great fun episode. That was epic. But one of the guys in the group, Tyler, he only collects Japanese Pokemon. And I like ripping Pokemon from all over the world. So I was inspired by him. So I went and I bought a bunch of packs that we can rip tonight or in a live rip. We'll see. But then I was like, you know what? The perfect order packs, they were charging $1 or more. It's worth. You can't get this stuff at Target, but if I'm going to go buy perfect order, I'm like, I might as well go buy a Target. There's one close by. So on my way back home, I stopped by this Target in Olathe, and the card section was empty. And I was like, what is going on here? And I say to the guy working there, I'm like, what's going on with your card section? He goes, oh no, dude, we got a brand new section now. Over there with the book section now. And so most Targets you probably saw on the internet. I knew this was coming. I didn't know it was going to come to Kansas yet. But they did a huge reorg of their space layout. And now near the front, though, but way in the side, so because the lines get crazy, they have a whole sports card top section now and a new Pokemon section. So when I went over there, I started seeing it. I see Ascended Heroes. I see an ETB of Chaos Rising. And I'm like, I immediately go to grab one. And somebody's like, stop. What are you doing? And I'm like, whoa. She goes, there's a line. And then I look over, and I had no idea. It was so embarrassing, I guess. There's a huge line. It was a restock, and everyone was waiting for the restock. And I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, guys. I did not even see you guys at all from the angle I came. I went right down a little aisle, and I went right to the ETBs, and then I got stopped. And I was like, whoa. So I actually got online. I probably waited for 30 minutes for this lady to do the full restock. And so the ETBs were gone. The Ascended Heroes were gone. But I was able to pick up some fun stuff. I picked up 2 of these, Series 2. And I picked up 2 of these, Series 3. I understand these retail for $15. They're going for like $80 on eBay. So there is a temptation to just want to flip these. But in my book, The Flip Life, which comes out December 1st, you'll find out that I use eBay as a way to sell my books. It's a great way to find a target market of people who are interested in your books. And if I'm selling a golf card, from Upper Deck, I'm sure that person will love my Golf Gods and Real book, so I put the insert in. And when I sell Pokemon, I'm going to now advertise my new Pokemon Gods and Real book. It's kind of a brilliant layup strategy. Well, think of it this way: when I sell this, yes, I might make $50 on it, but I get to only sell it to one person. I'd rather open it up, share it with you, and potentially millions of people if the thing goes viral, if I get a big hit. And then if there's like 4 or 5 cards that I can sell, I can then sell and advertise my books to 4 or 5 people instead of just one. So yes, you could keep this sealed and flip it, make some money, but I'm playing the long game, looking at the big picture. I enjoy the rip, and I'd rather reach more collectors with more books. I also had bought this. I saw this just randomly at a Target the other day. Pokemon spends a lot of time on their packaging. It's not needed. Most people just want the packs, but people who really love Pokemon, they want to collect this stuff, and I think it's cool to have a tin where you can put stuff in it. So I bought this, and we'll rip these packs today. This is it's 2 from Chaos Rising, 2 from Perfect Order. I should point out that the Pokemon market is definitely changing going into the 30th anniversary. Chaos Rising, Perfect Order, and the new one, Pitch Black, is still on the hangers in stores, and all of those products are trading at MSRP in the secondary market. Ascended Heroes 4 ETBs ago was the last real big popular product where people were scalping it and making crazy money buying and selling it. The last 3 products, maybe the chase cards weren't as good. Maybe it has to do with the overall economics of the global economy. Maybe it has to do with the 30th anniversary. But these I think the cards look great, but they've not been as popular, at least with the scalpers, that's for sure. So anyway, we'll rip these today, but I did not buy those today, but I've been waiting for an excuse to rip them. And then I bought one more thing. I did see some big collector cases of Ascended Heroes, which is going to be so much fun to rip. But I found my second best. I bought one of these big Perfect Orders. Now, I have to say, I think that these big packaging is ridiculous. I think Pokemon does it because from a marketing business perspective, they want to gain shelf space, and they don't want to give that market share up in a store, and they want the visibility. But you and I know that you could fit 6 packs in a little booster box and just sell them that way. You don't need to create all this big ridiculous packaging. I think this is just a waste of paper, and it's silly. There is a chase card there. There's a mega card, and then a giant card, which I'm not really into. But we'll open this up and we'll rip those packs as well. So we'll definitely celebrate my new release of Pokemon Gods and Real tonight in proper fashion, just like it's a live pack outing. But this is a hobby update, which brings me to my next topic. So the Pokemon Gods rewarded me today. I caught this restock, and again, I could just flip these and make some money, but there's no fun in that. We're gonna rip them today and have some fun and celebrate the hobby. But prices have really come down. PSA 10 singles, the Bubble Mew, so many of the big popular cards still worth a ton. There's Pokemon cards that are worth millions and $500,000 all over the place, but a lot of them are worth 25, 30, 50% less than they were just 2 months ago. So just like in the stock market, with collectibles move very similar, and when the tide pulls out, they sink. When Destined Rivals just put out their restock, Destined Rivals, which had been one of the more popular sets, have come crashing down in price hardcore. So, be careful investing in Pokemon, okay? But it begs the question: is interest waning, or are people just holding back for the 30th anniversary? I think it's probably a little bit of both. But momentum builds, and when people start to see prices come down, it spooks the market, it spooks the scalpers, and then momentum can shift. So, by the way, prices almost always come down in Pokemon during the summer. It's the typical summer doldrum. People are going on family vacation. They're busy at camps. They're doing different things. They're spending their money in other ways. It's usually in the spring and the fall and the winter where Pokemon has their biggest surges. Last summer did not have a big pullback. This summer it is happening. Again, is it short term or not? We don't know. Is it because of the 30th anniversary? Very, very possibly. But online, I got to talk to all these collectors, and I can tell you that in Olathe, Kansas, the love for Pokemon in this hobby is as strong as ever. The price declines have not affected anyone. For as much as we see on YouTube, people who are kind of like investing collectors, the people that I saw today online were collectors. They're set builders. They love ripping packs. There were lots of kids there with their parents, kids in soccer uniforms coming to and from soccer practice. It had a really good vibe. No one pulled a knife on anyone. No one pulled out a gun. Everyone was cordial. Nothing like you see on YouTube in some parts of the country. But it looks to me like the demand is through the roof still for Pokemon. And when that line was over, the shelves were empty, just totally cleaned out. So timing's everything. If you don't catch a restock at most targets, you don't get any product. And so even though I'm telling you that Chaos Rising and Pitch Black and Perfect Order are trading for MSRP, and may even trade soon below MSRP, that's actually good news for the collectors, because people who love building sets and opening packs, they lower the prices better. It's only a problem for people who have a financial incentive for the prices to rise, like the people who are scalping and investing in this stuff. And as I understand it, there's even like hedge funds and private equity funds getting involved in the Pokemon space right now. So that can be the sign of the next level, the next layer of the bull market, or sign of a market top. So just something to think about. Yes, I did want to kind of give a market update and mention that restock as well. Speaking of the market update, I did get the idea of, so I did do some research because I was kind of like, I don't think there's any books like the Pokemon Gods Real that's out there, and then I was like, wait, I feel like the Pokemon market, as big as it is, it's kind of underserved in a literary format. So I did some chat GPT research and stuff like that, and I kind of did some work, and I did find some books that are about Pokemon investing. A lot of them are kind of like for beginners, that sort of thing. But I saw a void, and what I've always thought about doing is writing a book about economics for the sports card market or the Pokemon market. And given that the Pokemon market is so big and there's that many more potential readers, and the interest would probably be much bigger than sports cards, I might write two different versions. But I am thinking about writing a book called The Economics of Pokemon, or Pokemon Economics. And so it wouldn't be about how to invest, how to make money. It'll be more about like kind of how a PhD would observe an economic thesis, and potentially experimenting with it, or just observing it and writing about it, and using data and analysis, making inferences, making insights. Ultimately, I think someone would read that book because they like to invest in Pokemon cards, but it would give them a really thoughtful methodology in which to do so. And so based on the current books that were out there, I think I see a lane where I could write an economics book, quasi-investment related, but more on the economic side, kind of like consumer behavior, behavioral economics perspective. Don't forget my day job. I'm a financial advisor. I've been an investment advisor for over almost 30 years. So I love economics. I love investing. Of course, I created the character Kevin Dempsey, my alter ego. He's the star of the book series, the Republic Baseball League, and he teaches at UMKC as a college professor. And of course, what does he teach? He teaches the political economy, because that's what I love. I was an undergraduate at Tulane. I had a political science degree. Then I went to business school at UMKC, which is where Dempsey teaches. And I loved business classes and investment classes, economics classes. It's fascinating. And the truth is, Pokemon cards are just like stocks and bonds. They're just more fun, right? This is why I like it. But all the same concepts are there. Arbitrage and all these different concepts are still consistent, even though it's just a kid's game, TCG. It's now become big business, and so I think I'm going to write a book about that. So just want to tell you, I'm slowing down. I get new ideas, and then I got to ramp it back up again. So a new book coming. It won't probably be out for a very, very long time. I'll do a lot of research on it, and then I'll have to write it. But what I will do, which I haven't done in the past, is use ChatGPT for research. I usually just do Google research and whatever when I want to look up, show me all the golf freak injuries, and I can find that stuff. But I'm going to try to use chat and see if I can speed up the process of the research, so that I could, because think about it, like with chat, I can come up with an idea, and chat can crunch numbers for me and do things much, much quicker than I would do myself manually. And so, that might be one way I'm going to use AI, just to become a better version of myself, not to write the book for me, but to do the data research and data aggregation, and that might be fun to do. So we'll see. By the way, shout out to all of you for this Pokemon hobby update. We're now at 110 people. Usually when I start these things, they start small and they get to the hundreds and thousands, but usually I'm doing these things late at night when there's no one else doing stuff, right? All the YouTubers are gone, all the games are over, everyone's partners are asleep and whatever, and people are still up or hanging out with me. So to have over 100 people, at 7:37 in the evening, it's still light out here in Kansas City. I say cheers to you. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we talked about my book release. We talked about the Pokemon gods intervening with my printing manufacturing company partnership, and how I pivoted. We talked about how I was rewarded for doing so when I caught a restock at Target today in Olathe, and I bought all this fun stuff. We talked about my new book that I'm going to start researching and writing. It'll take me some time. So, right now I'm still working on editing The Basketball Gods Are Real. Now my 100% focus until that project is done, one project at a time. And then once that is done, I'm moving on to the next project. And it might be, I don't know, it might be just editing another book that's almost, I might just edit my Soccer Gods Are Real book. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I have a lot of half-baked projects. Doing a book called The Economics of Pokemon would be like baking a whole brand new cake. But I'm kind of stoked about the idea. And what's gotten me stoked about it is prices have been rising. And I thought they would do for a major correction, just look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 120,000, was at 60,000. Guys, Bitcoin could drop to 27,000 if you look at the chart and still be in a bull market. I remember I recommended Bitcoin to my clients at 800. I remember when Bitcoin was at 6. At 6, right? So think about that. So markets go through cycles, ebbs and flows, ups and downs. It's natural. It's actually very healthy for a market. It should be expected. Nothing going straight up like a hockey stick is good. Silver prices, 1 ounce of a silver coin was stuck at $30 for years. The all-time high was 50. It got to 50 several times and got knocked back down. Finally, late last year, it got above 50. And then it went boom, straight to 120,000. Sorry, excuse me, 100. That's Bitcoin. $120 an ounce. And I told my clients, I'm like, guys, it's time to take some short-term profits because it's probably going to come back down, potentially even to 50, which was that long-term breakout. There's a term in investing which is what was once resistance becomes support. So given the longer-term chart now, there could have been a bottom at 55, but I think that there's going to be one more sell-off in the stock market, potentially even a big one. Now, this is not financial advice, although I am a licensed financial advisor. So take it for what it's worth. I guess I'm allowed to do it, actually, but it's not financial advice. Just giving you my market observations. But basically, the same markets that have rolled over in the financial markets has now started to happen with Pokemon, but it's not yet happened in sports cards. And people at the National were buying the goats at all-time high prices, and I think that's a disaster waiting to happen. But not a disaster for the market, only for those who bought at the all-time high. In the long run, pullbacks and corrections are very, very healthy, and it's good for the market. And I think one is coming. So it could be a really good buying opportunity. So make a list of your favorite cards and be ready. Just for example, the famous Ken Griffey 1989 Upper Deck rookie card. I did some flips on that a couple years ago, and it was trading for $50 for like a couple of years. Now it's trading for over 100. So in like 6 months, it just went berserk. So be careful out there. So anyway, so what we're gonna do today, the rest of this hobby update. We'll keep the chat live. We'll ask questions. If you get any comments or questions or whatever, we'll talk about it. In fact, I'm curious to know what is your favorite Pokemon character. Leave it in the chat. I'll tell you mine after you tell me yours. And I basically want to say thank you to the Pokemon gods for helping me get this book launched in time for the anniversary. So now we're going to celebrate and rip some packs and see how we do. So I have my phone charging. I will set up the second camera so it kind of looks better. And then we'll rip some Japanese. We'll rip some first partner illustration, and we'll rip some perfect order, and we'll have some fun. Let's do it, guys. Let me clear my desk first. Yeah, 162 people in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. It's inevitable. My dog always comes down for a potty break, and here he is. There's Buddy Fink. I'll be right back, guys. Got it. Duty calls, literally. Hold on. Good boy, buddy. Huh. All right. So 200 people in the chat now. Shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. We'll get my camera set up here, and then we're going to rip some packs. We're going to thank the Pokemon gods for helping me get this book out. Hopefully it's error-free. I read it over and over and over again, trying to make sure it was perfect. Just so you know, at 10 o'clock, my good friend Paulie, he's going to go live with a show on his end. So we'll wrap it up before then, because I don't like to ever overlap with a fellow podcaster, especially Paulie. He's our kingpin. Very grateful for Paulie. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. And I'm having so much fun doing it. And so shout out to Paulie. He's the best. Oh, it's Briar J's Cafe, and that's a big one. That's right. Paulie, are you in California right now? Are you with the Disney crew? Yeah, Briar J Cafe. I've caught that show, and D23 at Disneyland. It's the pins and all that Disney stuff collecting. Maybe they're into Lorcana too. I don't know. But she's been a great supporter of our show, and I definitely want to be a big supporter of hers. So Paulie will be there tomorrow, but the show is tonight. So stay tuned. After this one, I'll wrap it up for sure in time for you to catch Paulie's show and Briar J. That's going to be epic. Definitely do that. All right, let me get this. Let's go in here, and we'll have some fun. Let's see how we do. Yeah, the joy of releasing a book never gets old. It's like it's a great feeling to have an idea, bring it to fruition. It's a very rewarding experience. Let's see, did it work? Maybe I'll have to resend the link to myself. Sorry, guys. I had this problem the other day, too. I used to have a set link that I would use, but no worries. Yeah, I just think it looks better with the extra camera, and you can see me, but it's more about the cards, really, so you can see the cards, too. So, technical difficulties, Fink, lo-fi technology here. Thanks for your patience. All right. So I sent that email to myself. Now I'll pop up on my phone. And there it was. All right. So let me know, who are your favorite Pokemon characters? Who do you PC? And I will tell you mine. All right. Logging back in now, guys. Okay, we did it. Thank you for your patience. All right. Oh, I got to mute it. Okay, let's get to business here, guys. So not a mega rip session because we got to wrap it up in an hour, but we'll rip as many as we can. We'll see if we can get some real hits here, have some fun. I think there's now over 1,000 Pokemon characters. Does anyone know? Little pop quiz. Anyone know how many were in the original set? Anyone know that? Leave a number in the chat. How many characters were in the original set of Pokemon? There's a mega float. How do you pronounce that? The answer is 151 characters. Paulie writes, I like Matt's pick from last night. He bought a turtle because of Squirtle. Yeah, that was so cute, man. Yeah, I mean, Paulie, dude, great job finding that motley crew of characters. I love the passion. One of those guys needs to get a new mic for sure. I thought Taylor is an absolute rock star. He should probably have his own show for sure. Great vibe, Great backdrop, good personality. Matt was great. Our host Sean was terrific. Loved the Scottish accent. He didn't have the best internet connection. I had a hard time hearing him sometimes, not because of the accent, but because of the connection. It was always seemed like when he spoke, it was always a little bit wonky. Cute. Yeah, so there was originally 151 characters, and then with every set, they kept adding and adding and adding, and then Pokemon Go, and then the video games. I thought it was interesting. It's like, when different age groups get into Pokemon, the guys that I spoke with last night, I sensed they were all like in their 30s maybe, but they all got into Pokemon through playing the video game on like the little Nintendo. Here's Weedle, and then look at this one. Full art. I'm not a big fan of the Bumblebee, but here's Beedrill, and that's definitely worthy of the gallery. It's just look at that thing shine. That's a cool hit. Pokemon's confusing to me. In my economics book, I'm going to write about this phenomenon. Like, why is one card a $5 card? Why is one worth $1 million? But this one is, again, I don't know if he's popular or not, but it's just a good looking card. So thank you to the Pokemon gods for our second nice rip. Nice card. So what do I do with all my cards that I've left over? I give them away in my eBay envelopes. I trade some in at the baseball card store in Overland Park, Kansas, and just get whatever I can get for them. They're not worth as much as baseball cards, but they're worth something. Snorlax. Oh, I hear my dog coming again. He wants to hang out. Hold on. I closed the door figuring that he wouldn't want to come back in. So yeah, I prefer my dog to hang out with me when I do these rips because like upstairs is kind of far away. I have a bed set up for him, but he doesn't really use it. Let's see where he goes now. Let's see what he's doing. He's just gonna sit on the floor. Oh, he's a little schmoopy. All right, so that pack had some cute stuff in it, but it was basically a bust. Let's keep going. We got another perfect order. I don't know where you are. It's really hot here in Kansas City. It was like 99 degrees today. Just going outside for like a few seconds with my dog, I'm like kind of sweating. Probably should have washed my face or something. So yeah, so we went from 151 characters to now there's over 1,000. So it's sort of like it's much harder to hit, the Charmander, the Charizard. But look at this. Are we having pack luck tonight or what? This is the sign for the universe that I should have gone with Amazon for the ebook. That it's going to be a huge success, and this card is just beautiful. Look at that sniper's eye. Wow, dude, we're really crushing it. I wish I had this kind of pack luck when I was ripping Topps Chrome Basketball Update, when there was a chance for mega rookie patch auto cards. I still do have enough boxes for one more mega rip. So there still could be a rookie patch in there. So far, 1/3 of the rookie patch autos have now been pulled so far. 1/3 of them. All right, now let's do some Taylor. This is for you, buddy. This is for you. So you get less cards per pack. They cost less. Look at that. You see that? See how it's like the little pinwheels moving? And then boom. Look at this. We're really killing it, guys. That's actually kind of a scary looking card. It's like angry dogs on the prowl. But that's a winner. Another winner. I think with like basketball rip last night, I think I ripped like 6 splashes in a row without one card that was worthy of being put in the gallery. And here we're just doing individual packs so far, and we're just absolutely crushing it. So the Pokemon gods are with us; they are real. And even these three, they're 3 beautiful shinies. I'm gonna keep those and try to flip them. Love the designs on these, by the way. They look great. Yeah, look at that sunflower. She's pretty. I mean, look at these. These cards look so awesome. Look at that, man. I think Tyler might be right, man. The Japanese cards they're awesome. Although I'm a little naive, I can't tell if I'm buying the Japanese or the Chinese or the South Korean. I just know it's not in English, you know. But you still get all the big hits, and you'll know the familiar characters. You'll know what Charizard when you see it. Don't worry. There's Taurus, the bull, and then boom, another full art. Is this for real? I mean, insane pack luck tonight. It's literally like the gods are pleased with me for releasing this book because I'm celebrating. I'm gonna put Pokemon. Pokemon's already on the map. It's the biggest IP in the history of the world, but no one had put out a book like this before that like celebrated the culture and the community and the religiosity of Pokemon and the hobby. So I'm so excited for this book to come out, and this is a validation for sure. Another nice card, beautiful card. I mean, it's just, you know, the artwork is definitely one of the things that makes Pokemon super awesome. You know, put it there. Can you see it? Here, hold on. I mean, look at those beautiful cards. We're just killing, slaying. Oh, hold on 1 second. So yeah, these dollars, and some of them cost 4. In America, at a Target, packs cost 5. At a Best Buy, they cost usually 6 or 7. I don't know what set this is from. Maybe someone in the chat can let me know if they know these cards well enough. But I can tell you, they all look beautiful and shiny. Look at this one. Sunflower, we've already pulled. I mean, we have look at this. Kind of went a little crazy. Look, this is how you please. This is how you make a sacrifice to the gods. So I'm guessing we will not get to the perfect order box or the series 2 and series 3. We'll probably just get through these today. But that's cool. Then we'll do another session another day. So yeah, so I'm really excited, guys. That's the first time I've done an evening rip or hobby update instead of late at night, and 337 people. That's amazing, guys. Thank you for being here. Obviously, this time works. Is that who I think it is? Is that Gengar, or he just looks like Gengar? Oh, Paulie writes, comment the last book you read on the live stream above and enter the giveaway. I'm not. I guess that was when Garrison Lyons wrote the Edgar Tolle book. That's awesome. The last book I think Paulie read probably was reading my book, Sports Card Collectors Club Volume 2, The Flip Life, on the flight home from Las Vegas. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, YouTube update. Paul and I were we're chatting about this in a text of the day, how YouTube keeps moving the goalposts. It used to be to get monetized, you need like 500 followers, subscribers, and like 4,000 hours of watch time. And I think starting next year, they'll grandfather anyone in who does it before then. But starting in February, it's going to be 8,000 hours. That's going to be tough to accomplish. That's a cute card. So I only PC one Pokemon character, which is Pichu. And I keep him right here. I keep them all right here. All of my Pichus. But if you know about Pichu, Pichu is just the baby version of Pikachu. And of course, in Pokemon, there's two of the most popular characters. You know, there's Charizard and there's Pikachu. And the only Pikachu I've ever pulled, I keep right here. And I pulled it a few months ago in one of my live pack openings. That was the first one I ever pulled. Now I can say we've pulled our second. So if there's any doubt the Pokemon gods are real, I mean, holy moly. This is such a sick card. Look at that thing refract. It's so beautiful. Is he wearing a police hat? And he's there with his trainer. And gosh, I might have to start PCing Pikachu now because I can't ever flip this card. I got to keep it. This has been such an insane rip session just to celebrate this hobby update and the release of my book. Actually, the release of the pre-sale my book goes on sale in a month and a half, but you can now buy it now and put an order in. And please do. Go check it out. But yeah, wow. Pikachu. That's just a totally insane hit. We talked about how there's thousands of characters now, so it's so hard to pull something like this. Just great, grateful. Grateful to the Pokemon gods. If they wanted to prove they were real, I guess this is how you would do it. Yeah, check out Briar J's Disney podcast after this one wraps up. Go check out the Pokemon Collective from last night. It's on replay on the Collecting and Connecting Podcast Network. Wow. That's all I can say about that. What an amazing pull. And these are all great too. These might be worth something also. I mean, literally, like that was just totally insane. Let's admire it one more time. I think it looks better on here. It's less glare. Look at how it refracts, how this like dances. Yeah, that's an absolute banger. I mean, I feel like we should stop now. It can't get any better than this, can it? Maybe it can. Maybe we'll pull a God Pack coming up. Who knows? At this point, it's all bonus time, I feel like. That's what packs are usually like. I'm more used to that. Yeah, so shout out to the unopened Pac-Man store, Olathe, Kansas. Great selection of cards. Always have. They've been in a new location now for over a year, and the new location is much bigger. All the Kansas City card shops, they're all differentiated. They're all a little different, which is terrific. So you have a reason to go to all of them. Look at this one, though. I mean, so many cute cards we've been pulling from these Japanese and Chinese sets. South Korean, I don't even know at this point. Yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube instead of on Twitter, give this a like. Please give me a subscribe. Appreciate you if you do. Looking to build up. Oh my God. I mean, the Pokemon gods are not freaking around. Look at this thing. Excuse me. I don't even know which character this is. But we're just absolutely crushing it. That's the thing about ripping packs. You know, you go through streaks. The laws of probability say that you'll never stay hot too long, and you'll never stay cold too long, because eventually you'll hit something good, and eventually you'll go through a drought. It's just how it goes. So right now, we are just absolutely on a hot streak. And the fact that we did this session to do a hobby update, to mention my book release, and we decided to do rips and cards to thank the Pokemon gods, and the fact that we pulled a Pikachu, and we've pulled now our 7th full art card, I'm just nothing but grateful. Just beautiful. You know, when I did a bunch of NBA Topps Chrome update videos and you don't pull good stuff, you kind of feel bad, like you're not entertaining. But obviously, you can watch anyone rip cards. You're here because you enjoy hanging out with me. But and I appreciate that a lot. I can't tell you how much I do. But I want to be entertaining, and I can't just be me telling stories. I want to pull awesome cards because that's what's unique about a rip session, right? So I have not always delivered. The cards have not always been great. But yeah, this rip session has been insane. By the way, real quick, little advertisement. I'm always looking for creative ways to enjoy my life, but also promote my books ever so subtly. And I have always loved video games, from literally like Atari Pong all the way up until the PS5, whatever. But in the last 10 years, I have played very little. I always seem to like buy the new version and then never play it, because once I get an idea for a book, I become obsessive compulsive, writing it and then editing it, and it's just like 24 hours a day, every waking moment until that project is over. Yeah, the Hive. Where was his luck last night, dude? Jay, Destiny. I don't. That's the thing about ripping wax, man. It's a totally a crapshoot every time you do it. And by the way, I don't even know how much these cards are worth. They all could be worth $5. Not probably not. But like, just the joy of pulling a Pikachu is insane. I did wind up pulling a decent amount of cards last night. I just put a bunch of them on sale. I did wind up pulling 2 autos, but they were no name guys worth like 8, 10, $12, whatever. But yeah, just like, I hate to use the analogy, but just like in a casino, sometimes the cards that get dealt to you are just not the good cards, and then other nights you get a chance to double down, like 3 or 4 packs, cans in a row, whatever. So tonight has been extra special. So I just have to be extra grateful, These packs have been tough to open. Let's see. Yeah, these guys, all these shiny cards look so good. I mean, just beautiful. All these shiny ones go into a separate pile of cards that I think might flip on eBay. The ones in the gallery definitely will. Although the question is, do I flip this or do I keep it forever? Because it's just so epic. By the way, big debate. Charizard, Pikachu. You can't be both, right? I've always been obviously Pikachu because of Pichu, but I know a lot of people are Charizard, big time. Just a cool card. Bus pack. I listened to a YouTube video about how to grow your YouTube channel, and it was talking about how she's an artist, so she basically like draws and people watch her. But she was saying how she's learned that the most successful YouTube channels are actually the podcast because it's basically talking. And so you don't have to be looking at the screen to enjoy it. You can just listen. And most people are in their car commuting to work or running an errand, or they're exercising in the gym with their headphones on, or they're vacuuming, cleaning the house with their headphones on, or doing the dishes or cooking, and they got their YouTube on their television. And so people are now consuming YouTube in different ways. And because it's kind of a companion thing, being able to hear someone talk is actually more important than being able to see. So I'll be sure to keep talking all the time so that you guys are entertained, and then you can have me on when you're working out at the gym, when you're making dinner, or when you're driving your kids to soccer practice tonight. I'm happy to be part of your life. I'm grateful. Welcome to the Sports Card Collectors Club. Now tonight it's the Pokemon Club. Let's be honest, it's the Pokemon Club for sure. Yeah, but nothing but gratitude for Holy Spirit, Pokemon gods, however you want to call it. Getting the ideas to write the book, the chapter ideas, finding the right material, coming up with the ideas for the book cover design. I don't take credit for any of that stuff. I feel like it's all coming from somewhere else beyond this dimension, channeling through me. I'm just the conduit. I'm sure a lot of musicians and authors feel the same way, actually. Just pretty designs, cool refractors. If you notice the back of the cards, depending on where they're from, there'll be different colors. So like I think this is definitely Japanese because it's tan color. The blue is obviously from America. Cute little bus pack. So I've been ripping Pokemon cards for this entire 2 years, and I've not sold any of them, not for investment purposes, because of flip life purposes. I didn't want to start selling those cards until I had a book to promote in Pokemon. And now, as of today, I literally do. So I'm starting to take all my inventory of Pokemon. I'm going to put them all up for sale at 99-cent auction, or even at zero, and just I don't care where they go for. They go for $100 or $1. I'm just happy to be able to connect with Pokemon lovers, because if you love Pokemon, you spend your free time and your money buying cards, you're gonna love this book. I'm telling you, it's just perfect for that community. Cute card. Ooh, look at this. Same card. This is like a parallel refractor in sports cards world terminology. Same card. One's base shiny. One's got refracted shiny. That's cool. There was a rumor that Pokemon was going to start putting out parallels. I haven't heard anything about that recently. That rumor's kind of come and gone. Cute bus pack. Cute. We just pulled this. Cute bus. Blue. It's cute. So if you're joining us right now, my name is Jonathan Fink. You're watching this on the Collecting and Connecting Network or on the Sports Card Collectors Club website, YouTube channel. I write books. I love cards. We're celebrating tonight the pre-release of my new book, The Pokemon Gods Are Real, exclusively to Amazon. It's the only place to buy it. It's like making a deal with the devil. I hope not, though. I hope it's actually going to be a blessing in disguise. Pokemon gods made me do it. Super cute. Oh my God. Like my PC is like being built right here tonight in front of your eyes. Both of these are way nicer than my Pikachu first pull, which is the base paper card. This is, I don't know what they call it. This is I guess a hollow, and then I don't know what they even call this, but this is insane. Another insane hit. I'm just like, what? When the guys opened the pack and pulled the Cooper flag at auto, people like Darren Ravel were complaining that they didn't like how they didn't jump around and celebrate enough like you're supposed to. It's assumed you're supposed to jump around like a monkey when you hit a big card. First of all, the card's not theirs. It belongs to the person who bought the spot in the break for $515, number one. But number two, it's like, I think it was more authentic. They acted kind of normal, you know? Don't need to act like a crazy person. Although it is fun to watch people's reactions when they're truly genuine, and it really is like a life-changing card. That is fun to watch. But you're not going to see me jump around like a monkey. But I am amazed that it took me 2 years to pull my first Pikachu, and then I pull two really, really nice Pikachus in the same rip session. And here's the thing, guys. I'm going to say it because I'm spiritual and superstitious, but I literally dedicated this to the Pokemon gods to thank them for helping me get this book up and running so quickly, and for it looking so good today on Amazon and ready to launch. And I ordered my first pre-copy, and I know other people will do it too. And tomorrow I'll be on the new release rankings, and hopefully, and I'll be so sick. And so we bought all these cards today, and I literally was like, I told the people behind the counter, yeah, I'm buying all this stuff as a sacrifice to the Pokemon gods to celebrate my book release. And then I thought, I could do a live session chronicle, but I thought, let's do a hobby update, because this is more about how this book is playing a new role in the hobby that has not, it's a void, that it's a new lane, it has not been serviced yet. So this is about the hobby. A new book coming to the hobby that people are going to love, because it's all about the magic and mystery of ripping packs and the magic of mystery of this great hobby called Pokemon. And literally tonight I came up with the idea for a new book called The Economics of Pokemon, which is kind of like a no-brainer for me, kind of combining my Kevin Dempsey world and the Pokemon sports card world. So we'll be doing that. But tonight, if I wanted to know if the Pokemon gods were with me, they definitely are. Here's another nice one. An EX. Wow. Yeah, pretty insane hits, guys. The only thing that would make this even more insane, and so Pokemon gods, if you're listening, would be to pull a Charizard tonight. Time permitting. I think my dog Buddy coming to join me tonight is good luck. He's now in sleep meditation mode over there. Here, I'll show you real quick. There he is. I'm so boring, I've put him to sleep. Hopefully I'm not boring. Hopefully I'm very entertaining to hang out with. I appreciate you guys being here. Celebrating this pre-release of my new book, Pokemon Gods Are Real. Go pre-order it. Let's get it to number one. Wouldn't that be sick if it's tomorrow it's the number one pre-sale book in the Pokemon world? Oh my God. I don't even know what that is. What am I even looking at here, people? It looks kind of dark and demonic, but it's another full art card. Just incredible. I'm the trainer. I literally have way more glass behind me, but this was the last piece of glass. Who would have thought I'd pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Such an insane session. We're only an hour and 16 minutes in. This has been remarkable. 2 Pikachus. What? I told you, it doesn't matter the language. You'll know it when you see it, right? Let me get some more glass, because it's part of the superstition. You got to have glass magnetics nearby to show these Pokemon gods you're ready, willing, and deserving for a mega big hit. So my favorite number is 4. I always wear number 4 on my jerseys and stuff like that. When I do autographs, when I do like I sign my books, I always do like a J Fink and then a JF number 4. And right now there's 424 people in the chat, so 2 4s. So I love that. So shout out to the chat. Thanks for joining me. I'm glad I was able to have some big hits tonight that have been fun for you guys to see. Oh my God. What is going on here, people? Another one. This video needs to go viral because this video is proof that the Pokemon gods are real. I've been trying to tell you guys, but look what's going on here. Holy shnikes, what a great looking card. And it's all because I got the new glass ready. I'm telling you, you gotta be superstitious. It makes life much more fun. Just teasing. Shout out to Taylor from the Poke Collective. He inspired me to go get the Japanese stuff today, and I'm so glad I did. Look at this. Chinese, South Korean, all of it. Yeah, this is wild stuff, man. It's like living proof the Pokemon gods are real. Okay, so we'll wrap this up at 8:30 KC time, 9:30 East Coast time. That'll give 30 minutes for you guys to transition out of this, go get something to eat, go use the bathroom, get a drink, and then you can come join Briar J's podcast live from Los Angeles, California, the Disney World Studios at D23. I think that's where it is. I'm not sure where it is. But I know that Banana Mac and Paulie are going, and Briar Jade's on her way there, and that should be some really good content from that Disney event. Oh, we haven't pulled this one. We haven't opened this one yet. This could be another banger. Let's see. We'll do a quick recap when we're done. And then, what do you think, chat? Should we sell those Pikachus or should we keep them? Ooh, I love the anomalies. Back to back. Base shiny. Hollow shiny. Some cue cards. So we didn't break 1,000 tonight, but I'll tell you what, 425 people is fantastic, especially for the evening. This is prime time. There's ball games on right now. There's all kinds of primetime television, the evening news. But you're with me. I thank you guys very much. I hope this has been fun for you. It's been really fun for me. We might go live again later tonight after Briar J's show's over. We'll see what the night brings for me. I might start working on the Pokemon Gods economics book. You never know. I really shouldn't. I really should be focusing on creating content right now. That's what I should be doing. So Paulie says you can go till 9:57 if you want to. By the way, yeah, thank you, dude. Yeah, no worries, dude. And then J Quad 15, the perks of being a wallflower. Right on, dude. Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. I think that's a base. Is that a base Eevee? I think it is. It's Eevee. Eevee is a really cute character, very, very popular. I don't know if it's worth very much, but we'll keep it in the worth something pile. Yeah, so absolute insane hits tonight. That's not why we do it. We just do it because we love seeing what comes next. But what came next tonight's been a lot of fun. This has been another good-looking pack. Is that Zapdos? He looks different, but I think that might be him. We've pulled that card 3 times tonight so far. You know, I'm still learning. I've only been following Pokemon for 2 years, so I've learned a ton, enough to write a book about it. But it's a big hobby. There's lots to learn, and it's fun to constantly be learning more every day. It's a shiny bus pack. Can't win them all. Actually, almost done with these packs, so Tom is looking pretty good. So this was like a Japanese, South Korean, Chinese rip session. We save the English stuff for another time. Yeah, that's got to be Zapdos. That's a nice shiny one, a holographic. All right, 4 more to go. The Pokemon gods, you've shown us enough magic already, but if you want to give us the Charizard to really just show off, we will accept it. We will, I promise. Two to go. Now that is 100% for sure Eevee. No doubt about it. Maybe that last one wasn't. I'll have to double check now. One of the cuter characters. Oh, and I forget what this guy's name is. This is a cutie too. And a cat. Yeah, like Eevee's not like one of the original big 4. Definitely from the 151 though, right? But that was one more good card, and now we have 1 pack to go. So no need to give us a Charizard, Pokemon gods. You've been already very, very generous. This has been definitely my most prolific, rip session so far. All the different products we've done. Last pack magic. Here we go, guys. Not meant to be, but we did great. Definitely a sign from the Pokemon gods that they're happy about my new book coming out. All right, we'll shut this second camera down and let's do a quick recap. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 'Oh, The Perks of Being a Wallflower' is the last book he read. Yeah, dude. Duh. 3. I like that you guys read books, man. Reading books is good for the soul, I'm telling you. Not just my books. You have to read anyone's books. 4. 5. 6. 7. 'This one's so cool. 8. 9. 10. Look at that art. It's so intricate. 11. This is my favorite, actually, out of all of them. And 12. Dude, Pokemon Gods delivered. I have no control over the cards we get, but as you know, the Pokemon Gods definitely do. So let me just say thank you to the 427 good souls who joined me tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Your time is valuable. You shared it with me, and I'm really grateful. I hope you learned something new. I hope you were entertained. I hope you love the Pokemon cards that we saw tonight just as much as I love pulling them. And we'll do this again real soon. And I just want to say thanks again for your support. Give this episode a like, subscribe to the channel, and go click buy and pre-order The Pokemon Gods Are Real on exclusively Amazon.com. You guys take care, and as always, God bless.
He pulled a stain from a shoebox lid. Said this one traded for my first big win. Jonathan Fink on the line tonight with a pack in hand and a story that